Hello, my name is Matthew Bottom, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about Web 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. And I call it the ever expanding web because it is constantly growing, changing, and changing how we do things as people. First, we'll start with what is the web? When we're talking about a web, we're referring to an infrastructure of connected materials, or in this case, the internet. There's vast information out there. It's all intertwined, it's all connected through the internet, and we use the internet to access these web based features. We know that the web is how information is passed and shared, and we will look at how it has changed from 1.0 to 2.0 and then 3.0 and what that looks like for us as users. Web 1.0 was a read only concept, strictly information with no basic interaction with the user. And what that means is it was just simplistic, just passing information from point A to point B. This is what most website owners wanted at the time. It is not obsolete. There are still some Web 1.0 sites that function, something like a Craigslist where there's just simple information passed and nothing else. The goal of Web 1.0 was just that, the passing of information from the owner of the websites or such as email, just passing that information from one person to the other. An example, as I said, Craigslist. This is an ad from Craigslist that I was able to get through Google, ensuring that it also had the share function, meaning that this is not a copyrighted image, and this particular image here shows that it's just showing simple information. This is a bicycle that someone in Shaker Heights has for sale, and they're trying to sell it, and it's just giving that information from whoever owns this website or whoever owns this bicycle, from them to the end user. Other examples are email, HTML. It's just basic info. That's all that the point was, or purpose was to pass on basic information. We look at Web 2.0, we see that it is a read-write concept, no longer read-only, meaning that there is user interaction. There's information coming from the users to the web, not just from the web to the user. It's no longer the passing of information. It changes the way several everyday processes work, such as shopping, travel, banking. We're seeing lots of things change due to how information is processed based on Web 1.0 to the Web 2.0. Now we'll see things like eBay and Amazon and Travelocity, those types of websites. And then you also have mobile banking where you can get on and you can transfer money and you can do those types of things. Now the user is involved. Now the user is not only just simply reading information, they're also supplying some of the information as well. We see the birth of web-based social interaction with Web 2.0. You're going to see things like MySpace, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, those types of things. You're seeing the music industry change all because of this. You went from sharing tapes and CDs with friends to being able to just Google search something and be able to see or hear a particular song. You saw the branch out of things like Napster, where you were able to just straight up download music. Now, not only are you getting information, you're actually getting a product from the web. Some examples of this. This is a picture of my own personal Instagram page. I did white out my daughter's face. She did not. I did not ask for her permission to share this photo. My Instagram is private, but technically I co-own this page with Instagram because I did have to agree to their user terms and services. As you can tell, I like to cook a lot. We're talking about social networking. You're seeing things like this where you're connecting with other users using web-based programs. Music sharing that we talked about before. video sharing, information editing. You're actually seeing people being able to add their own personal touch to information, such as pages like Wikipedia and things like that. I put this on here, contracts through email at my office. We actually can email customers contracts, have them sign them, and have them send it back. It's not something that you could do prior to Web 2.0. When you sent people an email, it was just information purposes. They could respond, but there's not many actions they could take. Finances, you can now take a picture of a check and deposit it. That's all things that are done through Web 2.0. Information is no longer just passing, it is being transformed from the owner to the user and then back to the owner. That's one key concept that is different in Web 2.0 than 1.0, is the fact that you can now share that information and pass it from point A to point B. Web 3.0, now we're getting into some of the things that we're starting to see now. It's no longer just a read and write concept, it's a read, write, and execute concept. It's the owner to the user to the computer. There is a process in Web 3.0 where the computer actually reads the web as the user would. You have anticipation of user preference, connection of several web interfaces all at once, and then we're seeing some very interesting things such as 3D modeling. One of the things that you're able to see through these processes is you're seeing the user experience exemplified. You're seeing the user experience taken to a different level, because now the computer software is not only what is providing these websites or being able to build these websites, it's also being able to read them. Some examples, I put a picture of my phone. That is my personal telephone. A lot of apps tend to dabble in a little bit of Web 3.0. You can see there it says Web 3.0 is changing the way the world performs several tasks yet again, just as 1.0 and 2.0 also changed them. Again, we talked about apps. I actually have an app on my phone that will allow me to read a math problem and solve it for me. Something that before wouldn't have been able to have been done. Before in Web 2.0, I would have had to have submitted the math problem and then someone else would have had to submit it back. But the program, the way the algorithm is written, is it uses internet-based technology to be able to perform that task. Location services. You're able to now use applications and things of that sort, and it's based on where you're at. So the information that you're getting is tailored directly toward the user. Virtual tours, a lot of websites now, especially museums and things of that sort, are allowing you to virtually tour the program. I actually had a class here at Asbury just a couple semesters ago, and I had to take a tour of a art exhibit, and the only way I could do so was the fact that a museum had a virtual tour. These are tools that are coming up based on Web 3.0. And then we also have smart assistants. All right, we're seeing things like Siri and Google Home and Amazon Alexa. Those things are reading websites for the user. You can order things straight through Alexa, and it's ordering them online, and it's reading Amazon's website for the user just as the user would. In conclusion, Web 1.0 again was a read-only, simple passing of information from the owner to the user. None to little user input, and it is still used some today. Web 2.0 was a read-write concept, user contributions to the information. It was no longer just passing information, but information flowing from the owner to the user and back. And then we also saw the birth of some social networking. And then Web 3.0, we got the read, write, execute concept. The owner to the user to computer software interaction. smart assistants, and virtual exploration. Again, there at the bottom it says it's important to note that the development of new iterations of the web do not make the previous versions obsolete. There are still 1.0 and 2.0 versions running today, and 3.0 is still relatively early and is still relatively being developed, so it's not something that you see all the time in a lot of websites. I hope that my presentation was informational, and I hope that it makes sense, and I hope that you understand the concepts between 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. And I apologize for the noise in the background. My dog sees my daughter playing outside, and she thinks that she needs to go out there with her. But other than that, I hope you all have a great day. These are the references that I used. You can see here I use my own personal Instagram, my own iPhone screen, this course, the Craigslist image that I got from Google, and then the textbook for this course. Thanks again.